Right. Good evening. So, can you hear me? Can you see the screen? Can you guys respond to the chat box? All right. Yes. Good. So, today we have to start the revision paper 2. We'll quickly go into the paper, but before that, just a question. Did you complete? Tulasija, did you do the paper? How was it? Easy? Amarud? Lazy? How did it go? Oh, you didn't try. Amakare, Tisarani, you did half, like through half of the Karada. Right. Now, in this paper, right, I'm going to do some changes, right? Now, if you can remember last week, Api Pepe Karam, right? Last week when we did, yeah, we did 80% of it, okay, right? Now, last week when we did the paper, it took us somewhere around 4.5 hours, right? 4.5 hours. So I think it's too much time to allocate. Right? I think it's too much time. Product Nancy, not Nancy, right? So it's too much time. Now I was thinking to do the entire MCQ, and then when we go to the part two, right? Part two, but answers liyanna mama godakkalaada essay type questions වලට පොඩ්ඩක් focus කරන්න, right? I'll focus on the essay type question more rather than focusing on this state mention. ඒව ටික කරලා but ඒ ටික පොඩ්ඩක් ඉක්මනට කරන්න යා. අර essay type questions ටික describe කරන්න questions ටිකට පොඩ්ඩක් වැඩිපුර effort එකක් දෙන්න. Okay. So starting with the paper 1, right? Starting with the question number 1. A local company manufactures specialized electronic security systems, including burglar alarms and CCTV cameras. According to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which level of human need is this business primary target? In Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there are 5 levels of needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs levels marked in physiological, safety, social needs, then self-esteem needs, and self-actualization. Those are the 5. Out of these 5, here we are focusing on, right? Out of these 5, here they are kind of focusing on security systems and burglar alarms, right? We are focusing on security systems and burglar alarms. Right? In that case, here the answer will be, right? Here the answer will be answer number 3. Here the answer will be answer number 3. Give me a second. Let someone is at the oh, right? I'll check it. Right. Sorry. Yeah. Here, yeah, we are focusing on human safety, right? The safety of the people, safety of the person is focused here. So that's why they are making this alarm systems and all. So here the answer will be third one, the safety needs. Number 2, the Lady Ridgeway Hospital in Colombo provides specialized free health care to children using government funds. How is this organization classified based on its nature of production and ownership? Now, based on the nature of production, what are the types? Can someone tell me what are the 3 types? Right? What are the 3 types based on nature of production? Right? Business can be classified into 3 based on nature of production. What are 3? What are 3? Yeah, primary, secondary, and tertiary, right? Primary, secondary, and tertiary production is the one that we have. As about right here, this Ridgeway area, right? The late Ridgeway Hospital, right? The late Ridgeway Hospital, what they are providing is healthcare. So healthcare is a service. So all services will fall under, right? Okkama services are banking, insurance, warehousing, communication. All the services will fall under tertiary sector. So here it is a tertiary production, right? We are providing tertiary, right? We are providing tertiary production, and it is a public owned business, right? It is a public owned business. So the answer would be fourth one, right? The answer would be fourth one, tertiary production and public owned. ඒක clear ඇති ඒවා ලේසියි මම ලොකුවට explain කරන්නේ නැහැ clear නිසා මම ඉක්මනට යනවා තුලාසිත fine right I didn't even get a response whether you did the paper or not කරාද okay adhering to business ethics is vital for long-term survival. Which of the following actions demonstrates the business fulfilling its ethical responsibilities specifically towards its competitors? How can businesses, right? How can businesses act ethically towards its competitors, right? එයාලා competitors කට කොහොමද effect කරන්න කියලා එහා in a positive way. So ensuring all advertisements provide truthful product information to the public, that is to the customers, kind of refraining from copying product designs and avoiding unfair monopoly practices. Here we are making sure, right? As a business, we have to make sure, right? As a business, we have to make sure that we should not copy other people's design. We should not harm other people's brand name. Or we should avoid any unwanted trade practices, right? So thereby, here the answer will be answer number 2, right? The answer number 2 is the correct answer for this particular question because it is focused on our competitors, right? It is focused on our competitors. 4. A Sri Lankan fruit juice manufacturer wants to export its product to the European Union. To assure international buyers that biological, chemical, and physical hazards are controlled throughout the manufacturing process, which specific certification should they obtain? What is the specific certification that you should obtain to ensure, right? To ensure that you have what you call you are free from biological or physical hazards. What is certification? Tell me. Give me an answer. What is certification that you need to ensure that your product, right? Your product is physically and chemically or biologically free from any hazards. Okay, so yeah. What is certification? What is the certification that you have to go? No. This is HACCP, right? HACCP වලදම again HACCP is there, right? This is for what you call. The certification is specifically given to ensure මේක කැම දෙන්නේ, right? කැම වගේ දේවල් වලට මේක දෙනවා HACCP certification එක. Why is this given? It is to ensure that the food or whatever the product that you are buying is free from biological or chemical or any physical hazards. Again, chemically මේක තව එකක් එක්ක mix වෙලා නැහැ, right? කන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Biological again මිනිසුන්ගේ hair, DNA, blood ඒවත් එක්ක mix වෙලා නැහැ කියලා ensure කරන certification එකක් තමයි. So thereby the answer here would be third one HACCP, right? XA CCP. So this is from the lesson 3, right? Third lesson so try watching the third lesson. There you can find out these things. And we'll go to the next one. That is number 5. Government allocates funds from the national budget to construct a new highway connecting major industrial zones to Colombo Port. In this context, which role is government playing to influence business activities? Now the government is providing what? The government is providing a highway interconnecting all the trade zones. Right? Trade zones से connect करला government को highway का काम. Okay. Now how highway is kind of a infrastructure. So basically the answer is government acting as a infrastructure provider. Right? The government is acting as an infrastructure provider here. Okay. Highway का करना क्या? Infrastructure okay. 6. Democratically controlled is a fundamental principle of cooperatives. How is democratic control practically maintained during the annual general meetings? Right? Now, even Sri Lanka, right? Even Sri Lanka is a democratically controlled country. But even Sri Lanka is a democratically controlled country. Here, what happens? Everyone has a vote. දුප්පත් පොසත්ද එහෙම අදාළ නැහැ right දුප්පත් පොසත්ද නැත්නම් උසද කළුද මෙටිද කොටද කෙල්ලෙක්ද කොල්ලෙක්ද අදාළ නැහැ every one of us when we are in the legal age we do kind of have a voting power එක්කෙනෙක්ට එකයි මට කියලා votes දෙකක් දාන්නද එක්කෙනෙක්ට එක vote එකයි තියෙන්නේ so that is your democracy you have the right to vote same thing applies here when it comes to cooperative societies you get one vote per member. Right? Each member is having one vote. That is your democratic power. Method right? What වැඩිපුර shares තියෙනවා කියලා what වැඩිපුර vote එකක්වත් අඩුවෙන් shares තිබ්බ කියලා ඔයාගේ vote එක අඩුවෙන්වත් එහෙම මොකුත් නැහැ. Your voting power is based on your membership. Every member gets one particular voting power. Right? Among the right? Everyone is equal in this situation. Upper hand, right? No one is going to have an upper hand. Everyone is kind of equal. So thereby, here the answer is answer number 4. Each member is entitled to only one vote, regardless of the number of shares sold. Held. Right? Regardless of the number of shares, everyone is having one single vote. So that will be the answer number 4. If you have any other answers, right? If you have any other answers, just let me know. Okay, I have another answer like this. Whether this is correct or not, right? So then we can discuss on that further. No worries, we can move on further. Okay. Yeah. Then number 7, right? Number 7. Please let me know, is it lagging or anything? Lag or is it fine? Manageable? Online, okay, right? No problem. So just asking, since still I'm on my hotspot, I'm not sure is it speed enough to do the streaming and this session both. Stream I think it's fine. Okay. Then number 7, a business owner wishes to expand operations and needs to raise a massive amount of capital. They decide to incorporate. What is the primary legal difference that gives a public limited company an advantage over a private limited company in this specific scenario? Right? A business owner wishes to expand operations and needs to raise massive amount of capital. Right? You need large amount of capital. Now, what is the difference between a private limited and a public limited in this case? Like private limited data, public limited data, what is the difference in a kind of a situation? So in this situation, right, in this situation, the difference is, right, the difference is when it comes to public limited companies, you are able to issue shares to the general public. But when it comes to private limited companies, you are unable to issue shares to the general public. Right? Private limited take friends and family, right? You can issue shares to your friends and family. But when it comes to public limited, you can issue shares to entire general public. Private limited taking, you can't, right? From private limited, you can't issue shares to the public. You can't issue shares to the public. So here the answer will be answer number 2. Public limited companies can invite the general public to purchase shares. Right? Public limited companies can invite people to buy shares. Even like couple of days ago, we had a new IPO. Right? Janshakti Insurance and IPO. Again, initial public offering. That means they are asking people to come and buy their shares. Right? Eyaalt miyala business එක කරගෙන යන සල්ලි ඕනේ. Can I come and buy our shares කියලා එයාලා මොකද්ද? Share issue එකක් කරා. So that is what you call an IPO. And here Janashakti Insurance is trying to become a public limited company. They are in the process of that. And then that share එක market එකට එයි. Right? I can't remember the date. Right? It will come to the market. Then you also can buy and do the trading as well. And number 8, an individual operates a small established bakery. They are satisfied with their current state. Okay, I forgot to go with the screen. And now we are, yeah. An individual operates a small, right, established bakery. They are satisfied with their current steady income, but do not wish to take an additional financial risk. And they have no plans to innovate or expand into new cities. This individual is best described as what? They are running a small established bakery. They don't want to expand or they don't want to innovate or anything. Again, only business obviously it is a small scale business. Okay. So here it is related to small business zone. Here this particular person is a small business zone. Number 9. Various state institutions actively support the development of entrepreneurship in Sri Lanka. Which institution acts as the its national body dedicated specifically to formulating price policies and providing incentives for the entrepreneurial development? Right? Out of these, which one is giving or formulating policies and incentives for the entrepreneurial development? NEDA, Export Development Board, Industrial Development, SLSI, Consumer Affairs. Here, in this case, the answer would be National Enterprise Development Authority. Right? National Enterprise Development Authority. They are providing what do you call this? Incentives for the entrepreneurial development, like incentives, and they are making policies to ensure that the country will have more what do you call entrepreneurs, right? Now, entrepreneurship development policies handling. So thereby here the answer will be answer number 1, right? The answer is answer number 1. National Enterprise Development Authority. To recover from semi-economic recession, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka decides to implement an expansionary monetary policy to increase the money supply. which action will they most likely to take? Right? What is the action they would take most probably? Right? What would be the action that they would be take most probably? Um, to recover from severe economic recessions, wait. Uh, okay. To recover from a severe economic recession, the central bank decides to implement an expansionary monetary. Let me make it in a mema. You have something called contractionary monetary policies and expansionary monetary policies. Contractionary monetary policies means you are trying to minimize the transactions or minimize the what do you call it, money supply in the economy. Expansion monetary policy means you are trying to expand the money supply in the country. Because Vadipura business same here. If it is what do you call contractionary one, you are trying to minimize the money supply in the economy. Now here, what you have is you are having an expansionary monetary policy. So expansionary monetary policy ka nang mukadda අපි කරන්න ඕන. If they want to go for an expansionary monetary policy, but the expansionary monetary policy means people should have more money in their hand. Right? Expansionary monetary policy here, people should have more money in their hand. Now, according to this, right? According to this, what is the policy, right? What is the policy which is suitable, right? Which one is suitable? Huh? Which one is suitable? The suitable one is answer number 4, right? Answer number 4. Buying treasury bills in the open market. When the central bank is buying treasury bills and bonds, right? When the central bank is buying treasury bills and bonds from the market, what happens is central bank is releasing money to the economy. Central bank is releasing money to the economy. When central bank releases money to the economy, people will have more money in their hand, so they will spend more, and due to that, the economy will expand. But on the other hand, if central bank sells treasury bills and bonds, when central bank sells treasury bills and bonds, what happens? The people, right, will lose, or the people will not have enough money in their hand. The people will not have enough money in their hand. They will spend less because all the money is in the treasury bills and bonds invested. Thereby, right, thereby the money supply of the economy will go down. Right? So that is the contractionary and expansionary, right? That is the contractionary and expansionary monetary policy that we. So answer is number 4. Then we'll go for 11, right? Then we'll go for 11. A supplier receives a check from a customer that has two parallel transverse lines. Two parallel lines, right there, two parallel lines drawn across its face without any words written between them. This is the general crossing. What is the primary legal effect of this crossing? Remember, if there are two crossings on a check, right? If there are two crossings on a check, two parallel lines on a check, this check has to be deposited in the account and it loses the ability to encash the check from the counter. Counter again then what suddenly got that, right? You can't take money from the counter itself. Now you have to go to the bank to deposit it in your account. So here the answer will be answer number 4, right? The answer will be answer number 4. Check cannot be cash over the counter. Counter you can't take money by presenting the check to the counter. You have to, right? You have to deposit the check in your current account. For that only you will get money, right? For that only you will get money. Okay. So the answer will be answer number 4. Right? The answer will be answer number 4. Mr. Silva, number 12, Mr. Silva attempts to purchase the fire insurance policy for a warehouse owned by his neighbor, hoping to receive compensation if it burns down. The insurance policy, the insurance company refuses to issue the policy, which fundamental insurance justifies this refusal. Right? There is a house where Mr. Silva wants to obtain an insurance, but it's his neighbors. Allah with the manusagi. Allah with the manusagi what idea another? No, you don't have an ownership. So that means this is a problem of insurable interest, right? It's a problem of insurable interest. About who owns the building, right? So insurable interest at nothing water license bad. Not license. Insurance have done that. And then next one. A shipping company transports valuable garment from Sri Lanka to USA to protect against the financial loss of the vessel sinking or getting damaged during a storm. Which specific type of marine insurance must the shipping company obtain? Any losses that we are getting an insurance for any losses, right, that is occurred to the vessel, right? Ship right? Ship damage a damage cover insurance policy can anyone tell me? Ship damage cover insurance policy again. Under marine insurance, you have two, right? It is from the hull insurance. Yes, correct. It is from the hull insurance. Hull insurance is covering the damages that is occurred to the body of the ship. Cargo insurance is covering the damages that is occurred to the cargo or the items that has been transported. Right? Quickly understand. When you understand stuff, it stays in your brain for like ever. Right? Give the call to give. Well, what is hull insurance? Yes. Hull insurance is an insurance policy. It's a marine insurance policy. Yeah? Hull insurance is a marine insurance policy which is obtained for covering any damages that occurred to the body of the ship, right? Ship body damage. If there is a damage to the body of the ship, those losses are covered by hull insurance. Okay. There are hull insurance again types, right? Port risk policy, comprehensive policy, total loss policy, types, right? So I have explained those things in the revision tube, right? In the revision class. This is unit number 8, right? This is unit number 8, insurance lesson. Watch the recordings there. I have given all the materials and the explanations related to this. After the class, maybe tomorrow, you can watch it. In the communication process, the manager conceptually decides on an important message and then translate those ideas into a formal written memo to send this to his staff. The physiological process of converting the idea into a written memo is right. Simply මගේ ඔළුවේ idea එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒක මම කොලේට ලියනවා. What is this process? It is encoding, right? This is the process of encoding. Compiling the message, right? The process of compiling the message is what you call as encoding. The process of reading and understanding the message is what you call as decoding. The encoding, decoding කියලා දෙකකුත් තියෙනවා, right? Encoding and decoding කියලා දෙකකුත් තියෙනවා. Encoding means you are preparing the message. Decoding means you are trying to understand the message. Number 15. And number 15. A multinational corporation utilizes a secure private electronic network that allows only its internal employees across different branches to share documents, access company policies, and communicate securely. This system is known as an intranet, right? Yes, that's an intranet. It is not internet, it is intranet. Only the people inside the organization can access this. දැන් බලන්න අපේ LMS එක Google Classroom එක ඒක අපේ අතර විතරයි, right? It is only for the students in the class, right? මේක outsiders can't access කරන්න බෑ, right? Outsiders can't access this. Only the internal students can access. දැන් මට files upload කරන්න පුළුවන්. All the files download කරගන්න. That is simple as that. Okay. So this is what we call an intranet. Right. This is what we call as an intranet. Question number 15. And then moving on to 16. Modern logistic management aims to satisfy customer needs efficiently. The fundamental concepts of ensuring the product is delivered to the right place at the right time at the right condition is commonly referred to as, right? Right product, right place, right time, right condition, right? Entire definition of logistics, right? When it comes to logistics, you have an entire definition. Here you have what we call 7R, right? 7 R's here, right? R hatak, right? The concept of 7 R's. The right good, right place, right time, right price, right location, right time, right? And again, 7 R's thing. Those 7 R's are what you call as the 7 R concepts of the logistics, right? Logistics or 7 R concepts on a ticket, right? Right product, right price, right place, right quantity, right type, right quality, right? And there are 7 R's thing. That 7 R is what we call as the 7 R of logistics systems, right? 7 R of logistics system. So here for 16, the answer would be number 3. Then the warehousing process consists of, right? 17. The warehouse process consists of several systematic steps. What is the correct initial step a warehouse manager must take when a new shipment of raw materials arrives at the facility, right? So, when a new set of goods, right? When a new shipment comes to the warehouse, what are things that you have to do? You have to make sure to receive the goods and check and verify those goods, right? You have to receive the goods and you have to make sure that you verify the goods. Warehouse or shipment tag kaana ekapara aran gihilla එක දාන්න storage එකට. You have to verify whether it is the good that you have ordered. You have to verify whether it is your good. ඔයාලා order කරපු එකද වෙන කාගේ order එකක්ද දන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයාලා ගෙනාපු එකක්ද verify කරලා ඊට පස්සේ තමයි roll ගන්න. Okay. You are receiving and verifying the goods against the delivery note. So answer number 17, it is 4. There is 7R, and here is answer number 4. 19, sorry, 18. In the distribution channel, a specific type of intermediary sells goods in their own name on behalf of the principal. They process the goods, but they do not guarantee the payment from the tax from the buyers if a default occurs. This intermediary is known as. Yeah. The intermediary which sells goods on their own name, and they sell goods on their own name on behalf of the principal, and they process the good, like goods to the and they have the goods. They sell these goods, like they sell these goods to the people, but they don't ensure the payment, right? Payments ensure payments are right? They don't act as guarantees for the payments. And these types of intermediaries are known as commission agents, right? These types of intermediaries are known as commission agent. Commission agent. He is not acting as the guarantor for the payments. Right? Those things he doesn't do. So 18 is number 4, commission agent. So you can go through the unit number 11 for these, right? Make a definitions, right? Factor, del trader, broker, commission agent, retailer. In order to understand them, you can go through the unit 11. Right? Unit 11 again, we discuss. So you can study there. Recording එක බලන්න recording එකේ ඒ part එක include කරලා තියෙනවා. And 19, a university student logs to the state operated website to pay the examination fee and apply for the academic transcript online. This transaction represents which specific model of electronic commerce? E-commerce can happen in different ways: B2B, B2C, C2C, and B2G. Right? So those are 4 methods how e-commerce can happen: B2B, B2C, C2C, and B2G or G2C. And those are different ways how e-commerce can happen. Here what happens is the citizen is accessing the government website. Right? The citizen is accessing the government website. That means there is C to G, citizen to government. So the answer would be answer number 2. Right? The answer is answer number 2. And number 20. To protect local dairy farmers from cheap foreign competition, the Sri Lankan government legally restricts the physical volume of milk powder that can be imported into the country each year up to 10,000 metric tons. This barrier to international trade is called as what? Now, imposing a barrier, mentioning that you can only import 10,000 tons per year, that falls under an import quota. But quota gain quantity. You can import only 10,000 metric tons of milk powder per year. That is a quota. Quotation can come right? So you can't go beyond this. So that is a non-tariff barrier, right? This is a non-tariff barrier, and answer is number 3. For question number 20, answer is number 3. The import quota. Historically, the era of business evolution characterized by the transition from hand production methods to machine driven largely by the use of steam power and coal is recognized as that is very simple. It is about we are talking here about the industrial revolution. Right? We are talking about the industrial revolution where uh, agriculture changed into industries, cottage industries changed into factory systems. Right? That's what we are discussing here. Right? That's what we are discussing here. So thereby for 21, right? For 21, answer is number 4. Right? For 21, the answer is number 4. 22. The multinational fast food chain deliberately pushes advertisements claiming burgers are 100% fat free. කියනවා මොනවාද? අපේ බන් right අපේ බනිස් ගෙඩිය fat free 100% fat free. Despite knowing that it is factually incorrect. ඒක බොරු කියලා දැන like බොරුවක් කියලා දැන මොකද කරන්නේ? We are a fat free business කියලා right fat free products sell කරන්න කියලා market කරනවා. This action is directly violated of their social responsibility towards whom? Towards the customer, right? You are violating the right. You are violating the social responsibility towards your customers. So that is answer number 3. And then we'll move to the 23rd. Good. John F. Kennedy initially declares 4 fundamental rights. The rights that ensures consumers have access to programs and information that helps them to make informed, rational purchasing decisions are what? We have to make sure that you have relevant programs, right? Customers should have relevant programs to understand their safety, to understand these safety requirements. Okay? The standard requirements. For that, what do you need? Right? For that, what do you need? For that, you need the consumer education, right? For that, you need the consumer education. That is answer number, right? That is answer number 4. Right? That is answer number 4. Right? Yeah, that is answer number 4. Consumer education. And that is answer number 4. Consumer education. And we'll move on to 24. Amal, Bimal, and Kamal are partners. Kamal advances a loan of 500,000 to business separate from his capital contribution. They do not have a written partnership agreement under the Partnership Act number 1890. What is Kamal legally entitled to regarding this loan? Can you remember the partnership? There's a mistake in the question. Right? There's a mistake in the question. The mistake is this is not partnership act. Right? This is not partnership act. This has to be what? Can you tell me what's the mistake here? Ordinance, right? This has to be ordinance, not partnership act. Question again, tell me which one is powerful? I mean, none. Is act powerful or is the ordinance powerful? Act is powerful, ordinance is. The act is powerful, right? The act is powerful compared to ordinance. Hey, ordinance කියන්නේ මෙහෙම. Remember, I general knowledge එකක් කියන්නේ මෙහෙම. අතීත කතාවක් කියන්නේ විනාඩියක. Ordinance කියලා කියන්නේ 1948ට කලින්. Like before the independence, right? Before 1948, any rule that comes, right? Any rule that came before 1948 is a ordinance. एक order का order from the queen. क्वीन एलिजाबेथ ගේ ඕඩර් එකක් තමයි ඒවා රයිට් क्वीन एलिजाबेथ ගේ ඕඩර් එකක් තමයි එලිසබෙත් නෙමෙයි ඒ කාලේ හිටපු කවර එකකින් හරි क्वीन කෙනෙක් හරි හිටියා නම් එයාගේ ඕඩර්ස් වලට තමයි අපි වැඩ කරන්නේ right so that is what we call as ordinance but after 1948 සුද්දන්ට ඵලයන් කියලා අපි මොකද කරේ act එක ගේන්න ගත්තා now act is the powerful one act is powerful than ordinance ඒකනේ බලන්න in partnership ordinance says, right? In a partnership ordinance says the what you call profits has to be shared equal. අපිට වෙනස් කරන්න බැයිද? අපිට වෙනස් කරන්න බැයිද? Can't we change it? We can. We can prepare a partnership agreement. Agreement එකේ කියනවා no, we are not going to share profits equally. We share profits 10% to right 10 to 90% තමයි අපි ෂෙයා කරගන්න. වාට 10යි මම 90ක් තියා ගන්න. අන්න එහෙම අපිට මොනවද? පාර්ට්නර්ෂිප් ඕඩිනන්ස් එක පාර්ට්නර්ෂිප් ඕඩිනන්ස් එක අපිට වෙනස් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? We can change the ordinance. Right? So that's what you call the difference between an ordinance and an act. So that is completely some different like completely different syllabus එකට අදාළ නැහැ. ඔයාලගේ exams වලට අදාළ නැහැ. well because දැනුමට යමක් කියලා උඩට දාගත්තොත් ඇති. මොකෙන් පාඩම් ගන්න යන්න බෑ. So here, according to the ordinance, what is the legal entitlement? Answer, tell me. The answer is answer number 2. Kamal, right? Kamal is giving a load of 500,000, right? Kamal is giving a load of 500,000 and he is entitled for this 500,000 apart from his capital, like loan. He is entitled for a 5% interest rate, right? Loans වලට 5% interest rate එකක් එයාට ගන්න පුළුවන්. So the answer is number 2, right? The answer is number 2. Entitled for a 5% interest rate. And 25, last MCQ. Financial markets facilitate the trading of various instruments. Which of the following is strictly considered as a short-term financial instrument traded in money market? Short-term එකක් කියන්නේ short-term instrument එකක් කියන්නේ මට මෙතනින්. What is the short-term instrument that we have? It is treasury bills, right? Treasury bills are short-term. Treasury bills සාමාන්‍යයෙන් issue කරන්නේ මාස 3ක 6ට 9ට, right? මාස 3 6 9 දවස් 364, right? 363 days, 64 days. 364 days, 180 days, 254 days, and every time period like 90 days, right? Every time period treasury bills and bonds, treasury bills issue කරා. But treasury bonds are long term. Treasury bonds are long term, but treasury bills those are short term. So here the answer would be then answer number 4. Answer number 4. Okay. So now we are done with MCQs, right? We are done with MCQs. Any questions from both of you? Any questions? All the like ප්‍රශ්න දිනවද? None. So is it okay so far? Okay, no questions. Tulasija, I find with this. What okay the medical? Any questions, Samir? Okay, so right. Then we'll quickly move on to the MC, fill in the blanks and the short answer parts as well, right? Uh, so for this, I want answers from you, right? Keyboard sticker at that. Short, from the answer sticker, radical दिया करना साटा पाटा जाना किया ना एको टाइप करना एको माइक ऑन करना किया ना उला मैं uh, question number 26. According to Abraham Maslow's hierarchy, the ultimate human desire to achieve one's full potential and become the most that one can be is known as what? What needs? One needs the fullest potential. Self-actualization. Yes, it is self-actualization. Right? It is self-actualization needs. Good. Then the international recognized ISO standards specifically designed for occupational health and safety management system needs. Right? Occupational health and safety management systems are the theory OHSAS kila system right? OHSAS kila standard OHSAS 18001. That is the standard that we are giving for the occupational health and safety. Okay, you can find these standards. You can find these standards in unit 3 last part. Right? Unit 3 के last part तक medical दिया. Right? Consumer protection discuss करा दे medical government. Right? Under consumer protection we do discuss these things. OHSAS, HACCP, what do you call these energy star ratings, right? ISO standards, SLS standards, right? वो अभी discuss करा unit 3. So you better watch those recordings and download those tubes and prepare your answers. Huh? Right. A business organization formed by minimum of 2 and maximum of 20 persons carrying a business in common with a view of profit is known as partnership. Good, right? It is partnership business. The internal constitutional document of a registered company that defines the rules and regulations and the internal management process is called. What is the document that we are given? Right? What is the document that we need to submit when we are registering a company? Right? Incorporated company का register करने को होता है, right? Incorporated company का register करने को अपने अपने document का पेटना है. They are asking what is this particular document? Right? We are asking what is this particular document that we need. So what we need is the articles of association, right? You need the articles of association, the AOA, right? Also we call it as the in brackets AOA, right? Company का register करने को एक company का अदाल rules and regulations आपको include दिला दिए ने मैंने में AOA की ना document है. 28. The institution that legally accepts deposits from the public and have the authority to create credit or bank money are recognized as licensed. What? It is considered as license. So since here we have the word bank money as well, right? Since we have the word bank money as well, we have to go with, right? We have to go with not specialized. We have to go with what do you call commercial bank. So we have to go with the word commercial bank. Specialized is another method since we have the word bank money, right? Bank money bank money means what? The balances of the current accounts, right? Bank money means balances of the current account. So in that context, right? In that context, current accounts have to open current only in commercial banks. Thereby, the answer also has to be commercial banks, right? Okay. Right. An insurance policy where the insurer guarantees to pay a predetermined sum of money either upon the death of the insured person or upon them reaching a specific age is known as life insurance policy. Correct? Good, good, good. Right? That is life insurance policy. That is life insurance policy. The method of communication that relies entirely on body movements, facial expressions, and postures and eye contact is known as what? No, no, no. It is not verbal. This is signs and symbols, right? This is signs and symbols. अभी eye contact, right? Body movement contact कराने there is what do you call signs and symbols or else wait. Sorry. Here it is not signs and symbols here. Wait. The method of communication which relies on entirely on bodily movements, facial expressions, and postures and eye contact. Yeah, this is not signs. Make a sign and symbol again, right? This is also kind of sign and symbol, but make a topic, non-verbal, right? This is not verbal. This is non-verbal. This is non-verbal communication, right? You don't talk in words. You don't talk in letters. You talk in body movements. You talk in signals. By swelling as right? So those are non-verbal communications, right? So 29 word non-verbal kenaka and B in international trade, the official document issued by the importer that explicitly verifies that the exact geographical country where the exported goods are manufactured is the right. This particular product, right? This particular product is manufactured in this particular country. Confirm that it is from the document. What is the document? It is the certificate of origin. Right? It is the certificate of origin. Okay. The last question for filling the blanks, MCQ, filling the blanks. When a business acquires or merges with another business that operates in completely different and unrelated industry, it is called that what kind of integration? Other business they have joined, right? Other business they have joined. What is the category? It falls under. Other business categories. We'll say DS, right? DSI and then DSI and the Lanka Hospital, right? DSI and Lanka Hospital they merged together. That is you call a conglomerate combination. That is you call a conglomerate combination. Right? Adharana business there, right? Adharana industries there, business there, joint and owner. You call it a conglomerate combination. Business combination happens in three different ways: vertical, horizontal, and conglomerate. Okay, next. The highly liquid balances held by general public in Karnataka, which can be utilized for transaction through checks, are described as what money? That is considered as that. Okay, the MCQs and the plans are done. Then five more questions. Now, if you can see, I have also minimized the number of questions compared to the last time. Last paper we had somewhere around 40 questions, so but this time I minimized it up to 35. Right, 35 only my limit kara. Kind of we have to save time here and there, right? So state for task environmental forces, right? We need to have customers, suppliers, creditors, potential investors. Excellent, right? Excellent answer. Yeah. Customers, suppliers, creditors, potential investors. Those are our task environment, right? Those are our task environment. Good. Now the procedure. Yeah, I guess she's having some technical issues. Okay. Straightforward institutions functioning for consumer protection in Sri Lanka. Consider what are the institutions that is acting, what are the institutions that is performing, functioning to ensure the customer's protection. Customer protection ensure the organization Lanka. Read that up. Okay. Now, so this is in this is from the lesson number 3. Lesson number 3, consumer protection. There, we say under the consumer protection laws in Sri Lanka, there are a couple of organizations that is established to protect consumers. One is the Consumer Affairs Authority. The Consumer Affairs Authority, right? Consumer Affairs Authority. Then you have this Environmental Authority, right? Environmental Protection Authority. Sorry, not environmental. Central Environmental Authority, right? Madhyam Parisar Adhikari ke liye na, Madhyam Parisar Adhikari, right? Central Environment Authority. And then you have the what do you call it? Public Health Inspector. PHI, you know. And then Sri Lanka Standard Institute. Right, Sri Lanka Standard Institute. And then apart from this, you have the district secretariat, right? District secretariat. Yeah, like Ministry of Health is there. right? So those are no, Ministry of example, Ministry of Health, right? Consumer Affairs Authority, Central Environmental Authority, Public Health Inspector, Sri Lanka Standard Institute, right? Those are some of the what we call local, right? Those are some of the local institutes that are established, right? Local institutes that are established for the protection of consumers. Idea copy down करें पड़ेगा. And then going on to 33, state for contractual savings organizations, right? Now this one comes under unit number 7, right? This comes under unit 7. There is an entire diagram that we have to go through, right? How does the financial system of the country gets divided, gets classified, right? The classification of the financial system of the country has to be studied there. Now, there you have 4 types, right? So not 4 types. They have something called contractual savings institutes, right? Contractual savings institute ki lagati hai. There you can find insurance companies, right? Insurance companies, then APF and ATF and if I'm not wrong, there is unit trust. These are some of the contractual savings institutes, right? You are going for a contract between these people, right? Insurance companies, EPF, ETF, and unit trust are some of the contractual saving institutes that you have in a insurance, right? These institutes are performing based on contracts. Okay. Okay. 34, right? State for non-tariff barriers related to international trade. Non-tariff barriers करतो. We discussed once. एक discuss करा. Import quota. That's a non-tariff barrier. Import quota. Come na. Right. We have sorry. We have to impose import quota. It was impose karana puluang trade act, right? We can use trade agreements. Trade agreements. Trade agreements they not. And then apart from that, we can go for quotas, trade agreements. Sorry. Yeah. Tam natin naman. Quota, trade agreement. Ano ba talaga nangyayari? Things happen. Okay. Import quota, trade agreement, then all this limitation, right? Quantity limitations, right? Quantity limitations, import quota क्या है? Import quota, trade agreements, and it was say trade blocks. Trade blocks. Trade blocks क्या है? Yeah, I'm blank on that, right? Mane ekapara uluta right? ඒක අමතක වුණා. Right? So I'll come back to that question, right? මගේ question එකට ආයෙ ආයිලා මම ඒක ආයෙත් explain කරන්න. But we'll move on forward, right? So things happen. Right? Now the 35, write the activities for which venture capital companies provide financial facilities. Sometimes venture capital companies, right? Venture capital companies are the ones that provide financial services to newly started businesses, right? Alus businesses were financial helps, like financial support to the venture capital companies. One thing they help with is for acquisition of other business. For establishment of business. Next one, for establishment of business, and then for acquisition of other business. Acquisition of other business, for acquisition of other business, right? For establishment of businesses, for acquisition of other businesses, for business modernization, and for business modernization, and then for purchasing new equipment, like for purchasing new assets, for purchasing assets, right? Or else for කාවත් ඇවිල්ලා බුදුම කරදරයක්. Right? For market expansion, right? So these are some of the reasons, right? These are some of the methods how venture capital companies provide financial facilities for, right? Venture capital companies කියලා කියන්නේ the finance companies which assist businesses which are new, right? අලුත් businesses වලට assist කරනවා මෙන්න මේ venture capital companies by providing money, right? Loans දීලා help කරනවා. So why do they provide loans? For the establishment of business, for acquisition of other business, for business modernization and other expansion of the market. Those are some reasons. Okay. Now, are we okay with this? Right? Are we okay with this paper? All ප්‍රශ්න මොනවද තියෙනවද? ප්‍රශ්න මොනවද තිබ්බද? Tulasija, did you miss anything? Do you have any questions? Ask. I will clear this question number 34, right? Apart from that, any other questions do you have? Listen me. You're fine. Okay. So yeah, we have more work to do, huh? ගොඩාක් ලොකු වැඩ ගොඩක් තියෙනවා ඒකයි. Right. Last moment නේ දැන් 4 months නේ. Very difficult. Even I'm not sure how you are doing all those things. Okay. Right, apart from the three, no, you are watching that. The thing is, I'm telling you, like, how you are doing all this, right? Normally, normally definitely. මෙච්චර කාලෙ ඉගෙන ගත්ත ළමයි වුණා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මෙහෙම එකපාර ෆයිනල් මොමන්ට් එකේ රිස්ක් එකක් අරගෙන සබ්ජෙක්ට් චේන්ජ් කරගෙන එහෙම වැඩ කරන අඩුයි. But so you have taken the risk and you are working as well, right? සමහර ළමයි එහෙම නෙමෙයි. අවුරුදු දෙකක් තිස්සේ කරන් ආපු සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකක් එයාලා හරියට කරන්නේ නැහැ, but I see you do things well, right? So hats off to you. You are putting an effort. So we'll good. Then we are going on the result and right. Even the answer that you give is almost correct. So I'm happy about Now, before we start the next one, right now it is 8:25, right? 8:25. We have taken somewhere around 1.5 hours. I'll be taking a maximum of 10 minute break. Like minute 10 break minute 10, and then we'll come back to this by 10:35. Like 10:35 විතර වෙද්දී අපි මේක පටන් ගමු. Part 2 leave කරන්න එපා meeting එකේ ඉන්න. At 10:35 we'll start. Now, in this question number 34, right, we'll revisit the question number 34. The question is regarding 4 non-tariff barriers related to international trade, import quotas, trade agreements, and apart from this, you can take another 2. One is the LC requirement, right? LC license requirement, right? License license එකක් කොහොමද? මොකක් හරි product එකක් ගන්නකොට ඒකට license එකක් ගන්න වෙනවා. That falls under a trade barrier. But හැමෝටම license හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. License වලට විඳවක් යනවා. Because of those reasons, someone might not purchase license as well. So that is one. And then another reason is LC requirements, right? LC requirements can letter of credit requirements. Changes in letter of credit requirements. Letter of credit amounts level benefit. Again, yeah. Now back in 2022, after getting import limit karani, import limit karku kaale the rule of the if you are importing goods today, you have to pay all the money today. 100% they have to pay karani. Ever experiment period. That is what is called LC requirement, right? Letter of credit requirement change. Isra LC against it is not then right? If you are depositing 25% of the LC value, you can start import. But due to the financial crisis, the government said no. They have to pay the 100% today, then only you can start importing goods. So that is another trade barrier. There is letter of credit requirements. Changes in letter of credit requirement. Changes in letter of credit requirement. There is another what you call barrier that we have when it comes to non-tariff. Yeah, when it comes to non-tariff barriers, that's another example. Hold on, it's leading and all. Then with that we'll move on to the next question. I think that we'll move on to the next question. That is the part 2, paper 2. Here the question says Greenleaf Organic is a large-scale tea manufacturing company in Noida. To reduce their carbon footprint, they recently placed all their right? To reduce carbon footprint, they replace all their These are factor generators with a massive solar power. Right? We'll highlight these points. And they are known for excellent employee welfare facilities. However, their marketing department launched aggressive marketing campaign claiming that it cures all types of connectivity illness. It is publicly, like experts have publicly denied. Right? So those are some of the key terms that we need to understand and come to this question. Right? There's a key company. They have replaced their diesel factories with all about systems, and they are good with employee welfare facilities. But they have made an aggressive marketing campaign telling that tea will cure all chronic illness. This is factually wrong. Based on this scenario, classify the business greatly organized according to the nature of production and production sector. Can you do this? According to the nature of production and production sector, can you classify this? Yeah. They are engaged in, right? They are engaged in secondary production. Yes. They are engaged in secondary production. And here, this is not agriculture, right? They are making tea, right? It is not agriculture. This is not a, what do you call? Uh, this is not an agricultural business. This is a industrial business, right? Like industry, right? Tea is an industry, not agriculture. Chain cultivation, farming, livestock, they was some agricultural data, right? They are agricultural, so this is industry. Okay. So here the answer will be, here the answer will be, I will not write answers for these months, right? I'll make the answers clear now. Answers given for the time answer. But explain current in a question for the answers here. So here the answer is what you call secondary production, private sector, right? It is secondary production, private sector this one. Other mention what is the nature of production? What is the sector? Whenever mention the answer clear. Number 2, explain the difference between a need and a want. Giving an example of each relevant to the beverage industry. Right? Now this is the beverage industry. A beverage industry. So what you do is you need to differentiate. You need to differentiate the need and want. First, right? Differentiate them. Sentence differentiate cross. Explain anything, right? Here you have explained. So you make sure that you explain within one sentence. Okay. And then you give an example, right? Then you okay, I have got an image regarding this. We'll see. Yeah. So this is okay, right? This answer is okay. That is fine. Okay, first me acknowledge. Now I'll also state an answer here. Like explain the answer and then if anyone like wants, you can copy down. Right? Recording can copy down. If you have not written an answer, you can copy down this as well. Okay. A need is a basic physiological requirement essential for human survival, which cannot be created by marketeers. But a want is a specific method of satisfying a need, which can be created by a marketeer. So that is the differentiation, right? That is the differentiation between needs and wants, right? Agar create karana puluwan, mera create karana back ila kene kattama di. Based on a feature, right? We are taking a feature. Can be created, cannot be created in a feature. Karana abhi differentiate karna need that I want. After this, we will give an example. Right? We will give an example. What is need and want? So here the need is, right? The need is food. Right? The need is food. Or you can take it as thirst as food or thirst. Want then want and first. The want is tea. Right? The want is tea. Right? Food and thirst is the need. The want is tea. Okay. So you can copy down this answer for this particular question. Okay. हमारे सब में सिनारी को बेस करना आंसर देने वाला था मैं सिनारी के तीन के अंदर का पागल फिर सी बेस करना वाला आंसर दे दूँगा by the way I don't know if you are hearing this it's heavily raining like in a Varina I don't know if my voice is clear or not अपन करना इसलिए इसलिए वहाँ ना मतलब से I think Lankarana or Varina also right now we'll move on to the next question right so once you are writing answers, you can take a screenshot or something, or else after the session finishes, I'll send this to you personally. Yeah. फिर रात में right. हमारे लगा नेगा मटे हम आउट में नेगा group पे कर दान नेगा but some people take it to a granted thing so I don't want to give the marking 7 marks for like everyone right. पेपर कारण करने का something else but marking में करते marking में हम देने का मामला पड़ता trying to keep it to the ones who are paying and all right आगे बात करो ऐसा दान है website so I'll send it to you personally now the transition of solar power relates to environmental sustainability identify which specific element of the 4R concept is primarily demonstrated सोलर पावर यूज कर मैं क्वेश्चन ने क्या दिया थी अभी बता अभी हाईलाइट करा to reduce the carbon footprint they have replaced all the diesel factory diesel factory replaced कर दी ना solar power से so here it is replaced okay now state to benefit green organics will gain by fulfilling its corporate social responsibility. One of the benefits CSR fulfill करने की right by fulfilling CSR you will be able to protect your brand name. You are able to create a good goodwill right. You can enhance the goodwill of the business. You can create a good reputation for your business right. You can tell your consumers that you are environmentally concerning sorry concern you are environment protective right environment protective के वाला हमारे customer का किया था बोलूँगा right and then you can improve the brand image those are some what we call benefits of CSR वो कदम mention कराना दिया right वो mention that sentence है मतलब देखने में not two words full sentence है कि mention कराना है right अगर ये तो ना sentence चाहिए है can attract new customers by fulfilling CSR businesses can attract new customers full sentence है by engaging in CSR you are able to improve the goodwill and enhance the brand reputation full sentence என்ன மாதிரியா but there's a problem Identify the specific ethical violation committed by the marketing department to the scenario and state which stakeholder is directly harmed by it. Here they are, here they are mentioning that some sort of unethical practice is done. What are the unethical practices? Highlight. That is, they are engaging in aggressive marketing that they are curing, right? That they are curing chronic illness. But make at the name, they are Guru here, right? The businesses are they are telling lies. They are promoting fake information, right? They are promoting fake information. So what we call that is misleading the customers, right? That is misleading the customer. So historically your answer is good here. So I'll take it here. Launching an aggressive marketing campaign claiming that he cures chronic illnesses. Therefore, it is affecting customers, right? So this is the right? This is the answer. Right? So this is the answer. Right? What is the problem? Who is affected? Yeah. B, Roman number B, apart from paid taxes, state to other CSR activities that focus to the government. Other activities that businesses can do towards the government. As CSR activity. So, right? We can write through action. Compiling with rules and regulations, okay? Yeah, compiling with rules and regulations, that is fine. And then we ensure protection of environment, right? Ensuring the protection of natural environment and compliance with rules and regulations. Those are two other CSR activities that you can do towards the government. The task environment directly affects a firm daily operation. Explain how suppliers and competitors act as task environment for green organic. Green organic filter, right? Green organic company suppliers and competitors other effect करने के लिए explain कर दो. I explain how. Yes. So suppliers and competitors, right? How suppliers and competitors are acting, right? How suppliers and competitors are acting as task environment for this business. That's what we are going to explain. That main question explain task environment one sentence description, right? Give one sentence description what is task environment. We'll write here. The task environment consists of the immediate parties that directly interact with the business operation. While task environment consists of the external immediate part is that directly interact with the business operation, right? They are external, the external immediate part, the ones which are very close to the business, right? The external environment which is very close to the business is what we are calling. Now, for suppliers and competitors, we'll write some explanation how they are acting. They provide essential raw material. If they fail, production fails. But suppliers, they are engaged in supplying raw material. If suppliers are unable to provide raw materials, what happens to the business? The business will stop. The business production will stop. That is one way. Now we'll write an example for this charge, right? We'll write an example. Then we have the first question again. T කරන්නේ කතා කරන්නේ. අපිට ඒක බේස් කරගෙන අපි ලියමු. Example. A local tea estate owner who supplies raw tea leaves to green leaf is unable to supply tea leaves in the continuous. Unable to a local tea estate owner who supplies tea leaves to green leaves is unable to supply continuously. This will be a negative impact, and it will create a negative impact. This will create a negative impact. This will be a negative impact for the daily business operation. This will be a negative impact for the daily business operation. And then we'll write another one for this competitors. How competitors work? These are the rival firms offering similar kinds of products. These are the rival firms offering similar kinds of products that the company offers. Yeah, na, අපේ වගේම products sell කරන කට්ටිය තමයි අපි competitors කියන්නේ. මම sell කරන්නේ pens නම් මගේ competitor sell කරන්නේ pens. Okay? So that is competition. Now how they affect, right? How they affect to our business, we'll write that example එකක් දිහා ගමු. Large scale organizations like Dilma and Lipton will be a competitor for green leaf oils. Lipton Dilma, those are competitors for our green leaf oil. So they can mention that. Okay, so that is okay. Competitors are introducing new products and it increases the competition in the market. So you can mention those things like that. Yeah. Okay. Right. If you write like this, it's fair enough. Huh? If you write like this, it's fair enough. You have mentioned what is task environment. You have mentioned who are these suppliers and competitors. You have given examples how they affect businesses, right? Political mentions from on the government, right? You mentioning these things, it is fair. Yes. You come task environment. Customers, suppliers, traders, potential investors, yes, those are tasking. Those yeah. Competitors and traders, they also fall on a task. Competitors and traders also falls on a task. Task, if I can remember, task environment in there are around 9, right? There are 9 parties and groups, right? In task environment, there are 9 parties. In Amaya Malaris, right? The problem is here I can't hear my own voice. The Takamastina may Takamada Vasavatla, Takina Santi. It was written on task and not hearing what I Amar. Alright. Now, we'll go on to the next question. Evolution of business spanned several areas, several levels. State 2 characteristics of the Industrial Revolution, right? What happened during the Industrial Revolution, right? You will mention, right? You will mention just 2 things, right? You will mention just 2 things. What are the features that you can see here, right? Now, what happened during Industrial Revolution? Cottage industries started to convert into factory system. Cottage industries, factory systems were the move. That is one thing that you can. And then apart from that, there were use of advanced technologies. Right? Advanced technologies used करना factory systems introduced करना Unaiding mention right? Mention those things, you are good to go. Right? Factory systems, right? Introducing of factory systems, introduction of new machines, change from agricultural industries to what we call factories, right? Sorry, not factories. Agricultural society to industrial society is what the conversion, right? The society changed from agricultural society to industrial society. So those are some changes that we can see which happened during industrial revolution. Mention those things. Yeah, fine. Huh? So I'm not typing an answer there. We'll move on further. State 2 fundamental factors management must consider when drafting internal code of ethics. Tell me what is code of ethics first. Code of ethics क्या है? What is code of ethics? Code of ethics means understanding what is good and bad, right? You understand what is good and bad and act accordingly, and you do businesses accordingly. That is what you call as code of ethics. Now, like a written form, right? Code of ethics is in written form, you call it as sorry. Understanding what is good and bad is ethics, and mentioning them in a document is what we call as code of ethics. Now, in order to for you to prepare code of ethics, right? In order for you to prepare code of ethics, what are things that we have to consider? Right? All of knowledge level to consider current. You have to consider the nature of the business. You have to consider who your customers are. You have to consider who are your employees. You have to consider what is your business style. We also consider the code of ethics, right? So those are things that you have to consider. I guess this question is clear, right? My question is so, Tulasida, any questions? Do you have any questions to ask? I hope that you have another. Are you okay? Fine with this? Okay, sure, right? Okay, no issues. Wait, something went wrong with the file. And then we'll go on further for the second question. Like second question, no doubt. Sumadu runs a small unregistered handloom textile manufacturing business named as Sumadu Creations in Vancouver. To protect local weavers like Sumadu, the government recently imposed an import quota. I think I like imposed, right? Import quota for foreign textiles. And the Consumer Affairs Authority has started regulating quality dyes. Under regulation, they will test. So they start considering registering her business officially, and is also thinking about joining a local weavers cooperative society to purchase raw materials at cheaper rates. Cooperative society even join but do advertise. Okay. So those are certain points that we have to highlight. Like question read under which specific act or ordinance must Sumadu register Sumadu creations, and which government official is responsible for this registration in her list? Correct. What is registration in her list? What is the act or ordinance that Sumadu has to follow? Yeah, the business name ordinance 1890 is correct, right? Business name ordinance 1890 is correct. But Gramanildar is wrong, right? It is not Gramanidari. Gramanidari name. It is not Gramanidari. Gramanidari card is the business extra. Okay. It is the provincial business registrar. Right? It is the provincial business registrar or the district secretary. Right? It is the divisional secretary. Right? It is the district secretary or the sorry, not district secretary. It is the divisional secretary or the provincial business name registrar, right? Provincial business name registrar, or you have to go to the divisional secretary. Yalagad Gilagama, second register currently. Right? That's not the Gramadari, yeah. You have to go to the Gramadari to take the report, right? Gramadari got the report take the Gramadari Varta, but you are not going to register the business to him. You have to go to the other people. But the ordinance is correct. Number 6 of 1988, that is correct. Name to inherent advantages Sumudhu enjoys by operating as sole proprietor. Two inherent advantages of operating as sole proprietor. Sole proprietorship businesses will be in advantages near. Okay, you can write very simple words, right? Ability to make independent decisions, right? Can enjoy profits alone, right? Can use his own skills, right? And benefits very simple. So I'm not going to overemphasize this. Briefly distinguish between government fiscal policy and the monetary policy. So we'll distinguish this after make about that discuss government fiscal policy and monetary policy. We will discuss how to write an answer for this. So first, what you have to do is you have to make a briefly distinguish. What you do? First, explain what is fiscal policy, right? You describe what is fiscal policy, and then you describe what is monetary policy. Describe points. When you are describing, you have to mention the same type of points. Whenever you are first, we will go with fiscal. Fiscal policy. There we will write down this. This is economic policy which is managed by the Ministry of Finance, which influences the economy of the country by the government income and government expenditure. Imposing taxes and spending money on government expenditures are discussed under this particular policy. Again, make it right. Make policy ke discuss karne wala tali hampa karanne right. The government, how does the government is going to earn money, and how does government is going to earn money, and how does government is going to spend money. Or no idea that when make a discuss kara. Okay, so you have to mention that. And then we will discuss when we will write for monetary policy. Under monetary policy, what we discuss, we discussed about the controlling of money supply using tools. Right? We use certain tools to control the money supply. Thereby, we will be able to control the inflation of the country. So we will write here. This policy is managed by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, where they focus on controlling the money supply and the inflation of the country by using certain tools. Here, decisions like changing interest rates, changing the SRR, and credit restrictions are some of the tools which is used to control the monetary policy. So that will be the answer for this. Then I will make a mention කරලා fiscal policy කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Fiscal policy manage කරන්නේ කවුද? Fiscal policy එක මොනවද වෙන වැඩ? Monetary policy කියන්නේ මොනවද? Monetary policy manage කරන්නේ කවුද? Monetary policy එකෙන් වෙන වැඩ මොනවද? We have explained all those 6 items. Then the answer is complete. Right? Then the answer is complete. You don't have to worry about it again. Okay. You can copy down this, so you can take a screenshot as well. And then the next question says, the Consumer Affairs Authority monitors the market state to legal powers vested by Consumer Affairs Authority. Right? Now, Consumer Affairs Authority, they are monitoring the market. But when they are monitoring the market, they also have some powers. Right? They are the powers we have really. Right? So, like raid certain businesses, right? Businesses raid can come on with the sale and right? Expired goods and check the power right? So we'll I will give some answers. You can copy down it there. So like imposing maximum prices for essential goods, right? Imposing maximum prices for essential goods. That is one activity that the what you call Consumer Affairs Authority do. Imposing maximum prices. And then when it comes to other laws, raiding businesses which are hoarding, raiding businesses which are hoarding unusual amount of stocks, right? Right? Unusual amount of stocks maintain karna kattiwa raid karla yaart against actions done. So that is another thing that they do. And another one, imposing fines, right? Imposing fines for businesses that are selling expired goods, right? Expired goods sell karna businesses right? Those things they do. So those are some of the what you call laws. Oh, sorry, not laws. Those are some of the powers that these businesses have. Then state two duties a rational consumer must fulfill to protect themselves from market malpractices. We are asking about the consumer's responsibilities. What are the responsibilities of consumer? Right? The responsibilities are first one, you have to check your and you need to have critical awareness, right? First one is you need to have critical awareness. Again, you have to check the expiry dates, you have to check the manufacturing date, you have to check the ingredients. Those are your duties. They are market duties. Your responsibility to do that. Okay. You can write there. Examining expiry dates before purchase. Asking for bills, warranty cards, if any. It was not getting misled by false advertisements, having a concern about the society, engage in active participation to inform other customers regarding the trade malpractices happening in the market, right? Those are some of the activities that you can do to ensure your consumer responsibility. And what is they got mentioned on the owner, right? Mentioning two duties that you have to do is completely fine. You have to have it and right. Next one then. Cooperative societies operate in unique values compared to private companies. Explain four internationally recognized principles of a cooperative society. Right? Cooperative societies operate on unique values compared to private companies. Explain four internationally recognized principles of a cooperative society. So what we have to do is we have to mention, right? We have to mention some of the policies, right? And then we have to explain, right? We have to mention certain corporate society policies and then we have to explain them. So we'll explain certain things. Like we'll explain certain things. I'll give the answers for this. One is you have voluntary and open membership. You have voluntary and open membership. That is what? Cooperative policy here, right? Having voluntary and open membership. Again, anyone can come to a right? Anyone can join a cooperative society at any time. Anyone can leave the cooperative policy at any time. Rules agamman danna. Ownanante join nan pulla, ownanante exit penna pulla. That is the first rule. We'll write the specific definition for this. Anyone can join or leave without discrimination based on gender, race, religion. Example like a මේක corporate society එකක් තිබ්බනේ මෙතන. Question එක. හරි? Weavers cooperative society, right? You have a Weavers cooperative society. අපි ඒකම example එකකට දාමු. Right? We'll write it as an example. Right? Any person should have the ability to join the Weavers cooperative society. That's enough. And then we'll write the next point. Next one. Democratic member control. මේකේ democratic member control කියන්නේ ඡන්දයෙන් තමයි ඔක්කොම කරන්නේ. හිතන විදිහට මොකුත් කරන්න බෑ. You have to work based on a vote. Right? If someone is not willing, to do certain things, right? ඡන්දයක් තියෙනවා නම් අපි ඒක පත් කරගන්න. Right? ඡන්දයක් තියෙනවා අපි ඒක පත් කරගන්න. Right? Like for example, if you are making a decisions related to the corporate society, you have to keep a vote and a vote එක වැඩි ප්‍රමාණයක් හම්බ වෙනවා නම් ඔයාලා ඒක කරන්න. Okay? So like that. Governed strictly by one member, one vote rule. Regardless of how many shares he or she may have. We'll like an example. If there are 100 members in a cooperative society, there are only 100 valid votes. If there are 100 members in a cooperative society, there will be 100 equal votes. And මේකේ මේ මේක මොනවාද? මේකේ නෑ මොනවාද? අරයා වැඩිපුර සල්ලි ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරා කියලා අරයාටවත් මෙයා සල්ලි වැඩිපුර දැම්ම කියලා මෙයාටවත් එහෙම වැඩිපුර වෝට් එකක් නෑ. Everyone is equal in this one. Right? Everyone is equal. Everyone is having one particular vote on. It was clear at the point. Member economic participation, right? Member economic participation. So there you can write this. Members contribute equitably to the capital and the surpluses are distributed based on the transactions rather than the capital invested. Members contribute equitably to the capital and all the surpluses are distributed based on the transactions that are rather than capital invested. මේක එතකොට මෙහෙමයි යා. Members ලා මොනවාද කොච්චරක් capital invest කරාද කියන එක වැඩක් නෑ. Right? No matter how much capital does the members contribute, no matter. If there is a surplus in the organization, right? If there is a surplus in the cooperative society, right? This surplus is distributed among the members who have done most of the transactions. වැඩිපුරම transactions කරලා තියෙන කවුද? එයාලත් එක්ක තමයි මෙන්න මේ excess surplus එක share කරන්නේ. Right? මම ලක්ෂයක් cooperative society එකට invest කරලා තිබ්බා කියලා මට වැඩිපුර benefits එන්නේ. මට benefits එන්නේ only if I have done transactions. More the transactions I do, more the benefits I get. That's how this member economic participation works. And then we'll write down the last one. Concern for community. Concern for the community is another. While fulfilling member needs, the society must work for the sustainable development of their specific local area. Here, what does these people do? They ensure, right? These people ensure that they are ensuring that the local community, right? These cooperative societies, they are ensuring that the local community is getting benefited due to their business activities. So this will be the answer, right? This will be the answer for the, right? This will be the answer for this particular question, right? You can copy down this or take a screenshot, right? Copy down this or take a screenshot. You might also have written an answer. Liver the need answer ka? And the right. So you can copy down this or maybe take a screenshot. Right. Give me a minute. I'll come back. Huh? Right. So you are not familiar with the lesson yet. So this lesson is unit number 4, right? This lesson is unit number 4. This is the lengthiest lesson, right? This is the lengthiest lesson that you have in your entire syllabus. Digama lesson ne. My father lesson ne kya na bula. Even like kind of I don't even like this lesson. But that kind of boring lesson ne. Like okay, the में sole proprietorship the partnership very boring lesson there. It kind of we started watching the right. Rules rules and regulations okay, focus करना और cooperative policies, partnership package are rules and regulations, and then the incorporated companies wala incorporation part right. Why take a focus करना on the dome when it comes to this particular lesson, right? Even though I got a question about areas, right? Okay. Then number 5. Differentiate a government department and a public corporation based on their legal personality and management structure. Better than dealer based on the legal personality and based on the management structure, we have differentiate. Differentiate right? If they have given the criteria, you have to differentiate based on that criteria only. Whenever the criteria is differentiate I will write an answer for this. We'll write an answer for this. Now, for departments first field, right? Sorry. So now when it comes to departments, there is no legal personnel. And we'll write another one, no legal personality, and it is managed by a director. But when it comes to right? But when it comes to public corporation, for this you have legal person as legal personality. As legal person. And then on the other hand, managed by board of directors. So this is the right. This is the differentiation. This is the differentiation between a public corporation and a department based on the legal personality and the management structure. This is the criteria. Main criteria reality. Okay. Define a public limited company and state the minimum number of directors required to form one. Right? Define public limited company and state the minimum number of directors required to form. A public limited company is what? It is a business. It is a type of a business where we are able to issue shares to the general public freely. Right? After General public के shares issue करने वाला company होगा but public limited company ना क्या so you can define their business whose shares can be issued to the general public freely is considered as public limited company. Or we can also write a business where shares are issued to the general public in order to raise capital to the business. Right? And what is the minimum number of directors that we need? Two. Right? You need minimum of 2 directors for a public limited company. But when it comes to a private limited company, you need to have at least one director, right? Public limited take at least one director. Sorry, private limited take at least one director take on a maximum 15. Public limited take at minimum 2 in owner, maximum unlimited number of directors can be. Okay, so that's how this thing works. So yeah, second question is also done. Do you have any questions now? Yes. Then we have to go with question number 3 and 4. Right? What is the time now? 9:38. Fine. Other one the INQUIRE. All right. So I guess we might end up at 10:15. Right? After 10:15 we'll see. Now, question 3. Define intra-entrepreneurship and provide one practical example how it occurs within a corporate setting. Right? Now, we have to define intra-entrepreneurship. Intra-entrepreneurship it is a type of entrepreneurship which it is when the creative employees within the organization introduce new production or production methods. Yeah, right. So that is what we call as intra-entrepreneurship. Now, they are asking how does it occur in a corporate setting, right? Make the Google, right? Example like a villain, right? Google, they are following this 80-20, right? Google like a 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule is where 80% of the time that you work for Google, you have to work for the company. And 20% of your time can be allocated for your personal traffic. And due to that, email, right? Email is a result of this intra-entrepreneurship, right? Email is, not email, Gmail, right? Gmail is a product of intra-entrepreneurship. I'm not going to mention it. So I'll give an example. I'll give one something here. You know already, you know the definition. I'll give an example for this. In Google, there is a rule known as 80-20. Where employees can work on a personal project 2 hours per day. And due to this intra-entrepreneurship, Gmail was founded. I have a simple example like that. No, on the toe, man. Make a video and the come up, right? All hitala answer clear, come up, example, answer clear, come up. Right? So that is what we call as the 80-20 rule. The entrepreneurial process consists of several steps. Briefly describe the discovery and resourcing steps. We'll describe this resourcing and discovery, right? discover කියන්නේ මොකක්ද resourcing කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා අපි sentence එකකින් අපි describe කරමු. First we will describe what is discover. Can you remember the entrepreneurial process, steps of entrepreneurial process? Right, ඒක මතක තියාගන්න next when it comes to entrepreneurship questions ඔය steps වලින් තමයි ගොඩක් වෙලා අහන්නේ. Entrepreneurship lesson එකෙන් අහන්නෙම ඒකේ steps වල. So it's kind of important to understand the steps of entrepreneurship. Now discovery is where you are finding ideas and studying the environment. Yeah, okay. So I'll give a description. It is where the entrepreneur scans the market to identify a need or a gap in the market. You are identifying a need or a gap in the market. So that is one point. And then resourcing. What you have written is okay, right? What you have written is okay, but take a sentence case, right? Write a sentence case, right? Description. Gathering the necessary factors of production in order to start the business. So that's what happens when it comes to resourcing and discovery, right? Resourcing and discovery are the one. Discovery we are identifying the gap in the market. And resourcing is where you try to find the factors of production, land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, right? Not entrepreneurship, land, labor, capital, right? In order to start the business. Differentiate between currency money and bank money. Very simple. Currency money is the physical notes and coins. Bank money is the current account balances. Currency money. Currency money is highly liquid. Bank money is comparatively less liquid, right? Currency money is highly liquid, but bank money is comparatively less liquid. So those are some differentiation between currency money and bank money. Yeah. So that's very simple. I'm going to be moving on to the next one. Straight to modern electronic banking services, ATM, credit cards, debit cards, right? QR payments, right? Those are some of the what do you call? Modern electronic methods, right? Modern banking methods now, right? So that is also very simple. So I'm moving on to the next question. Define the insurance principle of indemnity. When you study the insurance lesson, make a definition එකක් දීලා දෙනවා, right? ඒ definition එක ලියුවට කමක් නැහැ. ඔයා මගෙන් ඉතින් definition එක අහුවා නේද? Indemnity. ඒ definition එක ලියුවම හොඳ නැහැ, right? So you can write that and you can get the marks. Right? Indemnity is the principle that states insured is compensated exactly for the actual financial loss that he has suffered. By restoring this property, will ensure that there will be no profits made by the insured. Right? Insured the profit එකක් එන්නේ නැහැ කොයිම වෙලාවක. Right? කොයිම වෙලාවක insured the profit එකක් එන්නේ නැහැ. We make sure the loss is recovered to its previous states. That's all. අන්න දෙන 4 marks question එකක්. ඒ 4 marks question එක කරපන්. මොකක්ද? The government provides both financial and non-financial incentives for SMEs. Explain for non-financial incentives provided by state institutions to develop small and medium enterprises. Sorry, part B. Mistake. Sorry. Thank you. State to instances where the principle of the indemnity is not valid, right? Principle of indemnity valid when nothing koi valid level, right? Yeah, when due to the loss of life, right? When a person dies, obviously the indemnity principle is not valid. And when you have loss, like when you have loose, what we call limbs. Right? මගේ ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් පොලිසි එකේ මේක තියෙන්නේ right මේක මෙහෙම කිව්වට right loss of limbs කියලා කිව්වට ඔය සමහර වෙලාවට තියෙනවා මෙහෙම ඔය ඇඟිලි මේ කැඩෙනවා නේද මේ ඇඟිල්ල කපන්න වෙනවා right මේ ඇඟිල්ල කපන්න වෙනවා මේ ඇඟිල්ල කපන්න වෙනවා එතකොට අර ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් එකේ full amount එක දෙන්න right මේ මතක තියාගන්න මේ loss of limb කිව්වම ඇඟිල්ලක් ගියත් මුළු ගානම දෙනවානේ එහෙම එකක් නෑ මේ ඇඟිල්ලට ගානක් තියෙනවා මේ ඇඟිල්ලට ප්‍රයිස් එකක් තියෙනවා මේ ඇඟිල්ලට ප්‍රයිස් එකක් තියෙනවා ඒ ප්‍රයිස් amount එක දෙනවා right they will give the money only නැතෝ මේ ඇඟිල්ල ගියා කියලා 150ම දෙන්න right 150ක ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් දාලා තිබ්බ කියලා මේ ඇඟිල්ල ගියා කියලා 150ක් දෙන්න right indemnity principle is there yes but for this finger it is 50,000 for this finger it is 45,000 for this finger this is 10,000 for this finger only 5,000 එහෙම amount එකක් තියෙනවා right so that keep in mind that as well right ඒක ඔළුවට දාලා තියාගන්න ඒක අහන්නේ නැහැ just ඔළුවට දාලා තියන්න එහෙම එකක් තියෙනවා right so when indemnity is not applicable when there is life related problem or when there is a loss of limb right so at those situations indemnity is not valid or not considered. We'll move on to the next one that is the government support services right what are the non-financial incentives given by the government for development of SMEs right now the answer එකක් දෙන්නවා technical answer එකක් දෙන්නම් ඒක copy down කරගන්න පුළුවන් නම් හොඳයි provides technical and provides technical and vocational training that is one point right make a non-financial incentive now what you are going to do is they are going to explain this non-financial incentive here the entrepreneurs are told about modern production methods and equipments right another one providing structure providing infrastructure services right so that is also another non-financial incentive providing dedicated space with water electricity in order to conduct business activities. Now, for example, providing infrastructure facilities now SLSI, right? Institutions help karma, right? SLSI will give what do you call this? Lab facilities for small businesses to test their business, right? Business testing phase eකට labs facilities එහෙම දෙන්න. Right? So those are some examples. Right? ඔය example එක තමයි mention කරන්න පුළුවන් මෙතන. Right? Providing of lab facilities for small and medium scale businesses. Again, mention those here. No issues. And then marketing, right? Helps with marketing. There you can write down this. Government organizations helps businesses to find customers and suppliers for their requirement. Example now, EDB, Export Development Board, helps in finding foreign clients. EDB is helping businesses in, EDB is, right, Export Development Board is helping exporters to find foreign clients. Right? Foreign clients का वाला ना उदाव करना. So that is a non-financial incentive that they provide. And then one last one. Providing advisory and consultancy services, right? Advise and consultant. Okay, there you can write out this. Provides advisors on taxation, business registration, and export related services. So this will be the answer for this particular question. Right? This will be the answer for this particular question. Like what I have given here is just a draft. මේ වලට තව ටුට්ටක් ලස්සන කරලා ලියන්න පුළුවන්. මේකට sentences ටිකක් add කරලා right මේකට sentences ටිකක් add කරලා ඒක තව ටුට්ටක් polish කරලා ලියන්න පුළුවන්. That is based on your own words. Right? Right. Good. We go to the fifth one. Retail clothing shops frequently has hundreds of customers walking through its daily doors. Those daily. State who benefits the shop owner gain by obtaining general liability insurance. What are the benefits of obtaining general liability insurance for a retail business? Okay. So this is a very simple one. That is, businesses can face any major compensation, right? Easy, right? If there is a major compensation by a customer, right? Customer can million ගානක වන්දියක් පිළි. Right? අට මෙහෙම වුණා කියලා million ගානක වන්දියක් පිළිගුවාම ඒ වගේ දේවල් face කරන්න ඔයාලට general liability insurance එකක් help. So ability to face those compensation, that is one thing. And due to the company's error, right? Due to the company's error, any mistakes or any accidents happen. At that time also the general liability insurance will be helping you to pay the compensation, right? Those are some benefits. Yes, can, right? Staff එකේ අරද්දෙන් මාක් කරගන්නොත් ඒකට compensation එකක් ගන්න, right? සමහරවිට staff එක ගහනවානේ. ඔය දැකලාදී කොහෙද I can't remember. House of Passion. Like that. කොළඹ House of Passion එකේ කොහෙද මම කරන්නේ හරියට. අර කට්ටිය පට ගාලා ගහන්නේ. right? ඒ වගේ මොකක් ඉන්සිඩන්ට් එකක් වුණොත් compensation එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන් ඇති. right? I don't know about the legally කොහොමද දන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද වලියක් නේ ඔක. right? වලියක් නිසා කොහොමද දන්නේ නැහැ. But if something like erroneously happens from the customer, what do you call this? Staff එක නිසා මොකක් හරි customer මොකක් හරි damage එකක් වුණා. customer ගේ phone එකට මොකක් හරි වුණා. customer ගේ wallet එක අපහාර කරලා ඒ වගේ මොනවා හරි වුණත් ඒ වගේ දේවල් වලට compensate කරන්න අපිට මෙන්න මේ insurance policy එක use කරන්න පුළුවන්. Okay? Sometimes වෙනවා. right? Now if it is a garage එකක් වගේ maintain කරනවා නම් right garage එකක් run කරනවා නම් ඒ garage එකට ඒ වගේ general liability insurance policy එකක් වටිනවා. මොකද garage එකට යන වාහන අපේ අතින් එකපාරම හරි වෙලා මොකක් එකක් ඇදුනොත් ඒ වගේ දේවල් වලට you kind of need. හොඳට යන වාහනේ කැඩලා යන්න පුළුවන් sometimes. right? So at that time you might need a general liability insurance. Then we'll go to the next one. Principle B. What is meant by a special crossing on a check and what is its primary effect? Now, special crossing is where you have to cross a check along with the name of the commercial bank. You have to cross, then you have to mention the name of a commercial bank. That is what you call a special crossing. By doing this, what happens? What is the immediate effect of the check? You are able to encash these types of special cross checks only from the relevant bank. Right? What is other bank what encash කරගන්න පුළුවන්. If it is cross කරලා BOC මහරගම කියලා තිබ්බොත් BOC මහරගමෙන්ම තමයි ඔයාට encash කරගන්න වෙන්නේ. ඔයාට BOC හම්බන්තොටෙන් encash කරගන්න බෑ. HNB එකෙන් encash කරගන්න බෑ. You have to go for BOC Maharagam. So that is what we call as special cross. Right? It increases the security, but it increases the security of the check. So there you have to mention first what is special crossing. Drawing two parallel lines with the commercial bank name. Special crossing. Due to this special crossing, what happens? Yeah, unable right? You have to go for the relevant particular bank in order to encash, not encash, to deposit the check in the bank. Okay, so that is what happens. All right. So we are kind of at the verge of the end, right? We are kind of at the end of the paper, right? So එදා තරම් අද අමාරු නෑනේ. එදා අපි එකින් එක ඉන්ඩෙප්ත් ඔක්කොම බලන්න ගිය නිසා තමයි අපිට 4.5 hours විතර ගියේ. right? ඊට වඩා වෙලා යනවා මට අන්තිම හරිය හදිස්සි කරේ නැත්තම් 12 විතර නේද ඉවර කරන්නේ. right? So good thing now අපිට ඔක්කොම එහෙම ඩිස්කස් කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. මොකද ටියුට්ස් වලත් මේක කලින් ඩිස්කස් කරලා තියෙනවා අනන්තවත්. සමහරක් ඔය ස්ටේට් වගේ questions මට අර මම ඕනම කරන දේවල් ටික තමයි මොන වගේ දැන් ලියන්න දෙන්නේ අමතක වෙලා තියෙනවා මතක් කරගන්න. හරි. And then we'll go for the last one then. Distinguish between internal communication and external communication with an organization. Internal communication කියන්නේ මොකද ළමයි? Internal communication කියන්නේ exchanging of information, exchanging of data and information within the borders of the organization, right? Within the organization, within the parties of the organization, within the departments of the organization is called as internal communication. External communication means communicating with parties and forces which are outside the organization, the external parties, right? That is what we call external communication in a business, right? So description එක ලියලා right ඔය description එක ලියලා example එකක් ගන්න යටි right? Example, communication between finance department and marketing department is internal communication. Finance department and marketing department communicate करना that is internal communication. Customer manager and the customer discussing na, right? Manager and the customer communicating na, that is what do you call external communication, right? Unknown mentioned kara mudra mein. All right. 8 of us say. State to advantage of using written communication or oral communication for official businessmen. One advantage is it is acting as a proof of evidence. Right? Written communication used करने के बाद ही ना it acts as a proof of evidence. That is one. Then one more. What is that? One more આપણે ગણના පුළුවන් ability to share, right? Ability to present data which are complex in nature, right? Verbally කියනට වඩා ලියලා වෙන්නුවොත් highly complex දේවල් lazy තේරුම් ගන්නවා. So that's another advantage that we might have. So those are two advantages. Roman number 2A, warehousing is a systematic procedure. List the 4 sequential steps of the warehousing process when goods arrive. Right? When goods arrive, there are some steps that you have to follow. Make right? First one, what we have to do is we have to receive goods. Right? That is the first step. The second step is you have to identify the goods. Right? මුලින් බඩුවා බඩු ටික බාර ගන්න. බඩු ටික බාර අරගෙන බලලා මේ ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ මොනවාද? ඊට පස්සේ මොකද කරන්නේ? ඒ බඩු ටික sort කරනවා. Right? Sorting goods. And the last one is sort කරනවා කියන්නේ වෙන් කර ගන්නවා. Right? Raw materials, the finished goods, the මාල් මේ items කියලා වෙන් කර ගන්නවා. And then the last one is putting it. Right? බඩු ටික දැන් අරන් තියෙනවා. Right? Sort out කරලා බඩු ටික පැත්තකින් අරන් තියෙනවා ඕනෝනාට ගන්න. Right? So those are the 4 steps when it comes to, right? Those are the 4 steps when it comes to warehousing. You can copy down that. Yeah, that is also correct. Written communication acts as proof of transmission, yes, and provide range of details. Yes, that is also correct. By the way, just asking. All them current subjects, they got automatic result at 8 What kind of a results are you expecting for the other other 2 subjects? Are you planning on 2 A's? Or you can pass with that? No, I'm not sure. I කරනවා that is මට නම් ඒක recommend කරන්න බෑ ළමයා. Right? Like I'll ask 2 questions, right? Not 2. I'll ask 1 question. Do you really want to go to university? Or do you want to do anything else? ඇත්තට මට කැම්පස් එකකට ගවර්න්මන්ට් කැම්පස් එකට යන්න ඕනේ මයි කියලා එකක් ඔයාලට තියනවාද?
Sir, is there a way to follow like a course or something to do teaching? I want like go to a school like that for teaching. So I need to enter a government university, right?
Yeah. Now, teaching in sense, it goes in two different ways. Teaching juga mera, jadi video re ana ekak kailla primary education තියෙනවානේ. ඔය පොඩි ළමයින්ට උගන්වන Montessori teaching, right? අන්න ඒකට යනවා නම් ඔය degree මොකුත් ඕනේ නැහැ. O level තිබ්බත් ඇති ගන්න, right? So that is something else. But if you are planning on going for a major subject, like advanced level, O levels වගේ stream එකකට යනවා නම්, A level subject එකට යනවා නම්, yes, then you need a degree, right? ආඩ එතකොට degree එකක් ඕන වෙනවා, right?
Is it like compulsory to attend a local university, or can I do it by entering a private university to go for a government school?
If you are planning to be a government school teacher, they do look for the government degree, right? Government teaching යන්න හිතන් ඉන්නවා නම් ඔයාලට government degree එකක් එයාලා expect කරනවා, right? හැබැයි මෙහෙම. Now for example, if you are going for a private school, like gateway වගේ, right, Lyceum, right, ඒ වගේ school එකකට යන්න හිතන් ඉන්නවා නම් ඔයාලට පුළුවන් degree එකක් private කරන්න, right? Private degree එකක් කරලා යන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට එයාලා ඒක consider කරනවා. I don't know about your financial status or anything, but like we'll say, if you have money, you can go for a private uni, no issue. Are මෙහෙම. Private uni වල හොඳ unit තියෙනවා, අවුල් එකක් තියෙනවා. හොඳ එකකට ගියොත් ඒක සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ගිනි ගන්න, අස්ප ගන්න, right? I think normally these days the degree starts at a minimum of 18 lakhs වලින් පටන් ගන්න. අඩුම ලක්ෂ 18ක් ඕනේ business degree එකක් කරනවා වුණා. ඒක පට්ට ගන්න. හරි. Now you see the degree what I am doing, right? මම කරන degree එක මට වෙන්නේ ලක්ෂ 8යි, right? මම degree එකක් කරන private university එක මට ලක්ෂ 8යි වෙන්නේ because this is from the government loan. You can apply for that as well, right? හැබැයි ඒකට නම් ටිකක් කාලයක් යනවා. අවුරුද්දක් දෙකක් විතර ඉන්න ඕන ඒ government loan එක ඔයාලට හම්බෙන්නේ, right? So that is a problem. But if you are starting immediately, you can go for open university as well, right? Open university එකට ඔයාලට දාන්න පුළුවන්. Even like one of my friends' sister wanted to do an open university degree. අවුරුදු 3ටම මෙයාලට ගෙවන්න ඕනේ ලක්ෂ 3යි. degree එකට ලක්ෂ 3යි ගෙවන්න. She was doing something into science degree එකක් කරන්නේ. there are lab facilities ඔක්කොමත් එක්ක ලක්ෂ 3න් වැඩේ ඉවරයි. So you can go for a, right, if you didn't get selected, right? If you didn't get selected for a government university, open university results 3 C's තිබ්බම ඇති, right? 3 C is fine. Open university යන 3 C's හොඳටම ඇති. හැබැයි මෙහෙම එකක් තියෙනවා. එයාලගේ ගන්න quota එකක් තියෙනවා, right? They do have a quota of taking students. ඒ quota එක fulfill වුණොත් එයාලා ගන්න සීන් එකක් තියෙනවා. මම හරියටම ඒක ෂුවර් නෑ, මට මතක නෑ. Even like one of my friend did the software engineering degree. මිනිහටත් තිබ්බේ 3 C's වගේ, right? 3 C's වගේ මිනිහට තිබ්බේ A levels වලට. Software engineering degree එකක් කරා මේ open university එකේ. It's good, right? Now he's running his own company, right? It's fine, right? No issues in that. එහෙම නැතුව private යනවා නම් private යනකොට නේවෝනේ, right? නේවෝනේ. ඒවා තියනවනම් කමක් නැහැ. ඒවා තියනවනම් you can go for NSP and slit and all. Fine. Or else the university I am going is BCI, right? BCI එක campus එකකට යන්නේ. That is a government නෙමෙයි. Non-profit මේ organization එකක්. where it is UGC approved, right? UGC approved organization එකක්. so ඒක degree එක valid. හැබැයි ගාණ ගොඩක් අඩු. fathers ලා කට්ටියක් කරන්නේ Catholic කට්ටියක් කරන්නේ Catholic church එකකින් කරන්නේ church වගේ කියන්නේ. I don't know what you have this පල්ලියේ කට්ටිය කරනවා කියන එකට මොකක්ද කියන සභාවක්ද මොකක්ද තියෙනවා. අනේකෙන් මොකක්ද කරන්නේ? I'm not sure about those words. So that place is also fun. You can go for software engineering, management, right? Even the degree I'm doing is management. Fourth year in Denmark. I can take them on, right? So based on those things, I'm telling you, commerce කරන කොට second try කරන්න එපා. ඔයාගේ ජීවිතේ වටිනා කාලය අපතේ යරීමක් තමයි. First try එකේම results එක දාගන්න, right? First try එකේම results එක දාගන්න. fail වෙන්න බලන්න එපා. At least ඔයාට පුළුවන් උත්තරින් මේ කියලා 3 C's වල තරම් දාන්න, right? බෑ කියලා නෑ 3 C's ගන්න පුළුවන් ලේසියෙන්. 3 C's ගහලා දාන්න බලන්න එපා, right? Don't go for, right? My recommendation is don't go for another subject, literature and eco. Teaching I don't know what does literature look like in A levels, right? Economic මට යම් කිසි අදහසක් තියෙනවා. Economic තමයි මේ ළමයි වාට පුළුවන් අදාළ questions ටික select කරගන්න. Out of 10 questions, which one you are doing? ඒක හොඳට practice කරන්න, right? ඒක හොඳට practice කරලා ගියොත් හොඳයි, right? එතනින් fine. Literature ගේමක් ගහන්න නේ මොනවාද? Economic ගේමක් ගහන්න පුළුවන් අර 10 questions වලින් මාක් select කරගන්න questions ටික කරලා practice එකක් match එක ගන්න පුළුවන්. Literature, I don't, right? I have no idea what does literature even look like when it comes to A levels. O level මම කරා literature, I had an is, right? I never studied literature like අන්තිම දවසේ කලින් දවසේ මාර කවි ටිකක් හරි මොකක් හරි novels ටිකක් බලාගෙන ගියා එච්චරයි කරේ. Right? So that's how good am I with literature, right? So sorry about that. I can't help with that. So try open university or try to give your best and then get selected for the university, right? So that's the option that I can give. Second side කරන්න එපා. Right? අමාරු නෑ වැඩේ කොට දාන්න. Now, based on how you answer business studies, I expect at least the B, right? Or then me answer කරන විදිහ බැලුවම මට C එකක් B එකක් ඔයා ඉන්නවා කියලා මට දැන් හිතෙනවා. Right?
ඔව් සර් මේවා දැන් මම මැනේජ්මන්ට් වල කරානේ ඩබල් AT වල. එතකොට දැන් මට මතක් වෙනවා මේවා දැන් අර තිබ්බේම තමයි තියෙන්නේ.
තිබ්බේ ඒ ටිකම තමයි මේකේ තියෙන්නේ, right? No problem, right? So you are good with this. හැබැයි මෙතන සමහරක් දේවල් කරලා නැතුව ඉතින් සමහරක් දේවල් මේ අලුත් figures මේ දේවල්
Yes,
ඒ ටික අල්ලගත්තම match එක ගන්න පුළුවන්, right? So you can go for a B in this. ඒකක් දැන්ට නෑ, right? B එකක් තියෙනවා. But ඒක හදාගන්න පුළුවන් අවුලක් නෑ. මොනවාද අර subjects එකත් කොහොම හරි ගහලා මොකක් හරි ඔයාලා යන class එකෙන් හරියට කොට දාගත්තොත් මේ can go for university. ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන එකක් නෑ. Right?
yes, sir. I'm taking individual classes for literature and for econ. I'm going for a group class, online class.
Right. So that's so good. From my side, right? From my side, I am giving you the full support, right? Now, what I see is, මගේ ළමයි ඉන්නවා දැන් මේ බැච් එකේ ඉන්නවා ළමයි 15ක් වගේ ඉන්නවා 20 20ක් වගේ ඉන්නවා 26 බැච් එකට. but ඒකේ ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන් ළමයි කියන capacity එක ගොඩක් අඩුයි. right? ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන් කියන ආසාවක් තියෙන ළමයි ටික ඉන්නේ ට්‍රිප්ලයි. right? මට ඉන්නවා ළමයි 4ක් වගේ උන් තමයි ඉගෙන ගන්න ආසාවක් තියෙන්නේ. අනිත් සෙට් එක එහෙම නෑ නිකන් එනවාට යනවා එහෙම තියෙන්නේ නැති. So like I like when someone is giving their, like putting the effort to study. So I see that in you and certain other students. So උන්ටමන්තින් උගන්වනවා, right? මාකරි කරලා කරනවා, right? ප්‍රශ්නයක්. Right. I will go back to the questions and then finish it off this for the day. Right. Logistics management aims to fulfill the 7 R concepts. State 4 of these specific 7. specific R's. The may the 7 R's කියන්නේ this is in the definition of logistics. Logistics in a definition like logistics means making sure that the right product at the right quantity, at the right quality, at the right place, at the right time, at the right customer, at the right price is being available. That is the 7 R's. දැන් හැම එකම right 7ක් තියෙනවා. ඒ 4ක් ලියුවම but for the right for this particular context මම මොකද කරන්නේ? මම 7ම දෙන්න. right? මම 7ම දෙන්නම් මොනවාද ඒ කියන්නේ. මම හැම එකම right කියලා ලියන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. එක right එකක් දාලා මම අනිත් එක දීලා යනවා. It is right price, place, quality, time, quantity, customer, right price, right product. Right. So those are the 7 R of this particular concept. On my 7 R, I think මෙතන 4ක් විතර mention කරාම හොඳට නැති. So that is the section here. Then we'll move on to the last one. Right. Explain the specific role of a broker as an intermediary in distribution channel. Right. What does the broker do? Broker is acting as a middleman between the buyer and seller. He is arranging the market, right? He is not maintaining stocks. Broker is a person who is not maintaining stocks, but he is arranging the market for the buyer and seller to do their trade transaction. Yeah. Broker කියන්නේ කසාද brokerද, ඉඩම් brokerද, වාහන brokerද. What do? Is they don't have stocks. They just what do you call intermediate. They just intermediate the buyer and the seller, and they just charge a commission. They charge a commission from both buyer and the seller. දෙන්නගෙන්ම commission එකක් කඩාගෙන. ඒකත් කියනවා. Right? So that is what a broker do as an intermediary. And B, I will send you the marking as well. The marking එක තියෙනවා. ඒක බලන්න මට read out කරගන්න පුළුවන්. And then what is this? Give 2 reasons why large scale manufacturer might choose to bypass wholesalers and distribute goods directly to retail. Wholesaler ditch කරලා and wholesaler අයින් කරලා large scale manufacturers කෙලින්ම direct retailers ලාට goods supply කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඔව් කැමති එහෙම supply කරන්න. Why? One is so that they can minimize the prices of the goods, right? Intermediaries are ready goods seller prices ready. But when it comes to this wholesale, right? So when it comes to this direct distribution, right? Businesses, they are trying to minimize the cost by removing certain unwanted intermediaries. So that is one point. Right? Another one means to get direct contact with retailers, right? To get the direct contact with the retailers also, that's another point. Okay. And මේක ක්ලියර් කරන්න ඕනේ. Right? We'll go for the fourth question. Right? We'll go for the fourth question. That is important. While e-commerce is growing rapidly, it still faces challenges. Explain 4 limitations or barriers to the expansion of e-commerce in Sri Lanka. Right? While e-commerce is growing rapidly, it still faces challenges Explain four limitations or barriers to the expansion of e-commerce. Okay. Now, e-commerce but e-commerce limitations. What is the technological like lack of literacy, right? Lack of technological literacy. Now, even there was a survey, right? There was a survey happened like 2 weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago. Census and statistics again survey of these kara ලංකාවේ 50ක් අඩේ computer literacy right? It's somewhere around 30%. I can remember the figure, right? They have found ලංකාවේ ඉන්න මිනිස්සුන්ගෙන් 30 ගාණක් හරි 50 ගාණක් හරි තමයි computers use කරන්න technology use කරන්න නැහැ දන්නේ. So that is a lack, right? That's a problem. Okay. So you can explain this, right? You can explain this particular portion. You can write there. A significant portion of the rural population does not know how to use websites or applications or any electronic devices. And due to this, they are unable to do mobile banking and those stuff, etc. That is one point. Trust and security issues. Then trust and security issues. Then even like 2 to 3 days ago, we got to we got to know that even the central bank is even the central bank has got caught to a scam, right? $2.5 million. Hacker right? So see, that is what due to the scam, due to the lack of trust and security issues. When the Mulu there, right? What is after attack na Mulu, right? Fear of cybercrime prevents. Sorry. Businessmen who fear cybercrime are trying to avoid adapting technology to their business. Internet use කරන්න බයයි සමහර කට්ටිය. අම්බෝ මේ internet use කරලා මොනවා වෙයිද? අන්න එහෙම හිතන නිසා we are not trying to adapt. So that is another problem. Another one you can write down. Inadequate infrastructure facilities, right? Inadequate infrastructure. So again, then Lanka sometimes signals then, right? So that is another problem that we have when we are trying to adapt into this technology, right? So we can write about that there. And legal and payment restrictions. Now, online banking, right? Online banking වගේ දේවල් ගොඩක් කට්ටිය කරන්නේ, right? Then මේ ළඟදී තමයි මේක QR payment එකක් popularize නෙමෙයි. QR payment එකක් පොඩ්ඩක් form උනේ මේ ළඟදී, right? form එක ළඟදී කියන්නේ even government එකෙන් කිව්වා if you are spending less than 5,000 to if you are making payments less than 5,000 using QR, there will be no additional charges. ඒ වගේ introduce කරානේ. So ඒක හැමතැනම නෑ හැබැයි. සමහර මිනිස්සු use කරන්න දන්නේ නැහැ. QR වගේ ඒවා use කරන්න දන්නේ නැහැ. So that is the kind of the problem that we have right now. So e-commerce is growing, yeah, but there are still barriers, right? There are still barriers. So those are the reasons. So based on these reasons, you can write an answer. Maybe add some examples here and there, right? I can make points after that. example එක ගානේ ඔබන්න පුළුවන් නම් perfect. And then we'll go for the last question. Define what is a trade block and name one of the example of a trade block operating in the Asian region. trade block කියලා කියනවා මේකට නැත්නම් trade zones කියලා කියනවා. Trade block or trade zones මේ දෙකම කියනවා පොඩක් බලන්න. Same ah. It is an agreement between a group of countries with a specific geographical region to reduce, eliminate trade barriers among themselves. So this is what we call a trade block or trade zone. ළඟ ඉන්න countries කිහිපයක් එකතු වෙලා right ළඟ ඉන්න countries කිහිපයක් එකතු වෙලා හදාගන්නා zone එකක්. If we get together and do transactions, if we do business together, there will be no taxes, right? Money benefits. So that is what we call a trade zone. So what we have is in the Asian region we have ASEAN, right? We have ASEAN. We have NAFTA, SAFTA, South Asian Free Trade Area, and then SAARC, right? So those are some of the trade zones or trade blocks that we have in the Asian region. Mitoda thaw තියෙනවා right? Mitoda ගොඩාක් තව තියෙනවා. අපි syllabus එකේ තියෙන තුනක් විතරයි ගත්තා. And then the last one, define the customer to customer e-commerce model and provide a perfect example, like practical example. This is an electronic commerce transaction that occurred directly between two individual customers, which is facilitated by a third party web provider. For example, ගන්නවා ikman.lk ikman.lk එක right ikman.lk එකේ මට මොනවා හරි විකුණන්න තියෙනවා නම් මම ඒක ikman.lk එකේ දානවා. And ඔයා ඒ product එක හොයනවා නම් ඔයා ගිහලා ikman.lk එක search කරනවා. For ikman.lk, I am a customer and you are a customer. ikman.lk is a web provider. So here this is a customer to customer website. Right? It's a customer to customer e-commerce platform එකක් තමයි. So examples වලට ගන්න ikman.lk, right? ikman.lk is the best example for this. All right. So that is the end of our rapid revision paper 2. Right? That's the end of our rapid revision paper 2. We will do another one, obviously. By the way, හෙට අපිට මට දෙන්න පුළුවන් වාට මේ management lesson එකේ paper, right? Management lesson එකේ paper එක මම හෙට release කරනවා class එකේ. LMS එකේ මම දාලා තියෙනවා හෙට grade දාලා තියෙනවා. අද දැන් ඉවර කරන්න තියෙනවා ටිකක්. ඒක ඉවර කරලා paper හදන එක ඉවර කරලා මම හෙට release කරන්න. So you can try that paper as well. ඒකේ තියෙන්නේ ඔක්කොම management related questions, right? So ඒක try කරලා maybe මම answer script එකක් දාන්න answer script එක වල cross check කරගන්න පුළුවන්. I'm not sure if I
Yeah. Are you conducting a class tomorrow at 7 o'clock?
No.
Oh, okay.
What?
No, then I saw the timetable. I think I have missed the dates. I can't remember.
No, there's no classes tomorrow. හෙට තියෙන්නේ මේක, right? හෙට තියෙන්නේ revision class එක Monday morning තියෙනවා. Monday morning Monday nේද? Yeah. Monday morning 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock මගේ physical class එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒක recording එක තමයි මම අර දාන්නේ මාරු. ඒක විතරයි යන්නේ. වෙන class නිකුත් නැහැ. ඒකේ තමයි මාරු paper එක දෙන්න කියලා. Alright. So then with that we can wind up. If you have any questions, you can send it to me to your WhatsApp as well. Okay, your father is an accounting tutor. He said to do business studies. He was taking the account and then he said to change up the other number. Speed after doing in accounting. Uh, they have found you on YouTube. Yes, he did say that he found me on YouTube, but but father he was accounting there. Okay, okay. So if the father says there can be, like there can be. තාත්තා කියන්නේ මට හිටපු සාස්තරේ මම ඒකට පිට එවිඩ කිව්වත් දන්න. Right. Now that's kind of an irony. But don't worry, if you are into teaching, like if you are into teaching, tell me what you're planning on teaching.
Sir, I'm currently conducting some private classes in English. I'm doing some classes, private classes at my home.
Uh-huh.